I'd just like to say a little something about. I keep up with the online debate, as it were, between feminists and guys that are more promoting. I want to say men's rights. I don't think that's the right thing to say. I think what a better thing to say is true equality, not like egalitarianism, but just fighting for their right to be actually listened to and be somewhat on the level pegging, because I think a lot of people that don't believe in feminism believe in equality for everyone, proper equality, not feminism style equality. So one thing that's been on my mind that no one seems to be talking about is that in the feminist rhetoric, it's basically whatever men do is wrong, and then occasionally they speak about, oh yeah, but we care about men as well. I think it's a problem that men aren't encouraged to talk about their feelings. They're not actually saying that they care about men here. They're not saying that they're concerned about the problem. What they're saying is, I think men should be more like women. Nothing more. That's what they're saying. And we really need to move away from that now. We need to move into more of a discussion where someone has the balls to just stand up and say, some of what men do is, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, obviously myself as a man, do I struggle with feeling isolated and I'm not allowed to talk about my feelings enough? Yeah, sure, that's the problem sometimes, but also a lot of the time I like it. I don't want to talk about it. And you see things like Emma Watson saying, oh yeah, well, we should be encouraging men to be more feminine, we should be encouraging women to be more masculine. What about the people that don't want to be the opposite of what they are? Why is no one thinking about this? What about the people that are women that want to be feminine, that are men that want to be masculine? Maybe they like it. Maybe they didn't used to be that way and they are now, and maybe they enjoy it. It's just, it concerns me somewhat that no one seems to be talking about this, or we don't actually seem to be. You don't see anyone ever saying or blogging or tweeting that actually, the way men deal with problems has been documented for decades. You read marriage self-help books and stuff like that. It says, men are more inclined to do this. This isn't a problem. This is just his way of dealing with his emotions. He retreats. He has emotional closure, if you like, to reset his batteries. And this is, if you've got any interest in kind of the psychological differences between men and women, you've read books and about this subject, you'll know that actually this is not a problem. This is the way that a lot of fully grown men deal with problems. They retreat into themselves, and when they're ready, they come back to the world. And usually once they've done that and they've figured things out, they feel pretty talkative. But the common narrative everywhere is that what men is doing is wrong. And it's not. It's not wrong. We shouldn't be encouraging young men to abandon their masculinity just because, the feminism seems to have shaped what it means to be a man in the last, 25, 50 years. We need a resurgence now of the acceptance of the fact that masculinity brings good stuff to the table. Okay, it's not perfect, but so isn't femininity isn't perfect either. What we should be looking at is what I call the Icelandic model, where they understand that you have to take an equal portion from masculinity, like things that brings around, like risk taking when it's good to take a risk, steeliness, logicism, and things like this. Don't know if that's a word, but still, that these kind of things are good that men bring to the table, and then we should bring the other things that are lacking in masculinity, like from femininity, like long-term planning, organization, candor, sensitivity, things like this. So, you take a blend of both of those things. You take things from masculinity, you take things from femininity, and you take the best of both worlds. It's so obvious, you don't just say, oh, this way is superior, or you don't say femininity is superior. You don't say masculinity is superior. And this is obviously false. I think anyone, has a brain knows this. So what we should be doing is taking the best from both worlds, and then you end up with a pretty happy medium. Icelandic people seem to understand this, but we don't. It's because we've got this culture of, good versus evil. Everything that you see, whether you see it in movies or you see it in politics, there's this symbolism everywhere of it's either that or it's that. It's either the good guy versus the bad guy, or it's the right-wing party versus the left-wing party. We've got this symbolism all throughout our culture. It's either one or the other. And this is a lie, and this is what most people think, is that now, men have had their day kind of thing, that, feminism should take over, and, it's girls' time now, boys, don't get in our way. Well, what about the young men? Okay, if you're 60 plus man that's got fuckloads of money and you live in a Western world, maybe, you did have a little bit more than your fair share, no one's probably going to dispute that, but we can't be saying, well, guys, you've had your fun now, so, on perceived injustices as well, not facts, and replacing that with female superiority. This is the wrong thing to do, because the young men alive today are going to suffer hugely, and you can see a pretty nasty backlash mounting in that now, rising from that, and I think ironically it might be the nail in the coffin for third wave modern feminism. It's kind of ironic, but so that's basically what I wanted to say. I just wanted to point out that I personally believe it should be a marriage of strong masculine traits and a marriage of strong feminine traits, and bring all the best things to the table, and clip away what's bad from men and clip away what's bad from women, because no one's perfect, and no single philosophy is perfect, no gender is perfect, and anyone that says to you otherwise is lying. It's almost replaced Christianity in the way that a lot of people want to just tell you what to do, what you have to do. These people will always find a medium of doing that, so don't fall for it. Shut them down, tell them you know better, and embrace that everyone's got something to bring to the table. Peace.